Yo, what's going on YouTube? This your boy Kamen of Zero Spike back again once again. And today, people, today we have Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger episode. Oh my god, episode 34. Now this episode was very good. Like the reveals, the just the everything in this episode was putting all this other stuff together, and I'm not conflicted, but at the same time, it's like I kind of saw something like this coming because my questions were answered. My theory of how were the other kingdoms doing while they were gone, and it turns out they were gone for 6 months. And Yanma kind of goes about the whole thing of now like how space travel, time and space travel is different than time while being on like a planet. Like them traveling through space is like time is very different. That time is very different. Well, they felt like they were gone for a few days, but they actually were gone, and they were gone for 6 months. And since they were gone for 6 months, all the bad guys just said, hey, let's take this opportunity and let's take over everything. So Doug has basically made everyone think that that everyone in Shogunam at least think that he is the king, that he is like the true king, the greatest, the true king. He has given everyone like treasures from Ishibana. Like everyone just got on like these, everybody just got ice. Everybody just got ice around their neck. Like everybody, I'm talking Cubans, I'm talking every carrot, everything. Like everything, everybody just got on these treasures are actually like royal and ancient treasures from Ishibana, and everybody got them on. And we see the kings walk in, you know, all cool and everything. They think they're triumphant and stuff like that, and then all the people of Shogunam just like hate them. And we see Hat Guy, Hat Guy, I guess he's fat. I guess he's fatter now because they made a really big emphasis on him being like fat. I guess like dude was like eating, and it just sounded horrible. It was funny, but it sounded horrible. So your boy, all the people hate them now, and they think that, oh, these people are being controlled, or this is another form of mind control or something like that. No, technically it's not. They just played off of the people's like emotions and stuff like that, and started to make them promises and give them things for them to come to his side and stuff. So Doug kind of sends the people after them to say, hey, if you can capture some of them and stuff like that, you could become royalty yourself. So they end up running from the people because they can't fight them, even though Yanma was about to. And they all end up like basically splitting up and seeing the different like stuff that's going on within the other like kingdoms. We see that Yanma teams up with Deboski. We see that Rita teams up with Jeremy, and Himeno teams up with Gira, and they end up seeing that they're really trying to figure out like how they're gonna get the people back to their side, and it's gonna be very tough because the people have completely like not messing with, like really not messing with them. So after they ended up trying to figure out where Suzune is, because one citizen mentioned Suzune, and then after that Suzune, he finds out, Deboski gets information from this guy and tells him that Suzune has now become like the queen and stuff like that. Like she's like the queen now, and now that she's the queen, she's basically just gotten this huge big head of hers. I don't know if it's fake though, like how Suzune acts and stuff like that. We don't know if this is actually fake. I mean, she actually does like the person that we're going to see later on in this, but yeah, Suzune is just got this big head now, and she's calling everybody lowly citizens and things like that. And we see that even the Bugnarok are against Jeremy, but people hate the Bugnarok again. And now that people hate the Bugnarok again, they see that the Bugnarok to actually go on a rampage themselves, and we see the return of a previous Bugnarok. Well, not the return, I guess another Bugnarok kind of like him, where he's like the common rider bug looking dude, and his whole thing was like he's a merchant, like he wants to like, I don't know, sell stuff, like but then so now they end up fighting all these Bugnarok, and they fight him off and they end up beating him later on, and they beat him, but like kind of like just kind of like send him off. And we see that the rest of the team, they kind of go and talk to Suzune. And when they talk to Suzune, she's sitting there in the throne. She's basically all mean or whatever. And before this, they did go and talk to some of the citizens, and we see that Gira goes back to the orphanage and stuff. He goes back to the orphanage and sees his little sister and his little bro. And his little bro doesn't even care that he's back. He doesn't even barely even acknowledges him. He doesn't even care that he's even back. And little sis tells him that, ever since you guys left, there's like an amazing amount of peace came. And since a lot of peace came, they all blamed you guys for all the other stuff, all the bad stuff that was happening before. And all this new technology and all this new stuff was given to them for free. Like we see that Bun and his little brother, little sis, they were playing like a video game and stuff like that from Ishibana, that came from Inkastopa, and they're eating like candies and stuff like that from tofu. So it's like they have all these things, all these different things from these other places, and he doesn't even care. They don't even care that he's like back or whatever. And like Terra, and then get us like, maybe this is a good thing. Like everybody's like, it's peaceful and everybody's super happy. But they also mentioned this guy named the Shogu Mask, and he said that he's the new King of Terra, and everybody thinks that Doug is like the greatest. So Gira thinks that, hey, this Shogun Master guy must be pretty great. I mean, he's got so much peace going on around here. And the sister's like, no, like this isn't peace at all. Like this really isn't peace. Like everybody hates you guys. And she's like, I want you to get it. She literally says, I want you to get it together. Like, you're our true king, aren't you? So they ended up going to the castle, and they see that Suzune's there. She's using Duga as like a footstool, and like just got this big head and everything. And then she's even talking to her brother like he's a lowly citizen, because she calls him that all the time. She calls everybody that. And Gita's like, nah, I'm not gonna let all this happen. Like, y'all not doing right. It turns out she screams for Shogun Mask. He gets there, and it's clear that this is Racus. It really is clear that he's Racus. And he explains that he has him and the other he's basically teamed up with Doug. He's teamed up with him, and now Racus and the rest of the galactic jesters, the rest of them all rule the other kingdoms now, and they essentially have basically like destroyed or like completely turned the other kingdoms into slaves for shogunam. And we see that people in Ishibana are messed up. Inkastopa is like destroyed. Tofu, the people are hilariously overworked. Like all the other kingdoms are suffering just to make shogunam like the top one, and every single jester is ruling one of the kingdoms. And I think the pink chick is in Inkastopa. Kamajin is in Ishibana. Racus is in shogunam. The blue guy is in Goken, and the Gori, he's in Tofu. So yeah, they're all ruling these places now. And yeah, kind of sort of everybody looks like they on the run. Like all the other retainers seem like they're on the run. We didn't see any of the retainers in this episode, but most likely we're going to see the rest of them in the next one. But yeah, they have completely done a hostile takeover of Terra. We see that Racus himself says that he is now the king of Terra, and he's made everything good for his people, but all the other people are messed up. So yeah, man, it's rocky right now. I don't know, like by the end of it, like Racus is like, I have returned from the depths of hell. So I'm just like, how is this going to work? How long is this arc gonna go? Because we already know that Racus ain't finna go down without no fight. He didn't have his sword when he came down the steps. Like, I don't know where his sword, like we don't know where his sword is, because you remember he threw his sword away when he was bashed the first time. So does Racus have his sword back. Most likely he does. We haven't seen him. We don't see it in the last in the preview for the next episode. We didn't see him transform, but most likely it'll be like all the other kings, like kind of being on the run essentially. But man, this is big. Also, I'm skipping over a part, but also we got our mech fight, and it turns out because they couldn't use King-Ohger, so they end up having to use this Gabutera, and Gabutera, a little mini Gabutera. And also in this episode, we see that Yama still had Daigo's sword. Well, Daigo's son, Prince. He had Prince's sword. So did he make two of them? He obviously had to have made two of them, because he had one and he wanted Gira to test it out. And when he tested it, he was able to use the power of dinosaurs and stuff. And we also saw that there's a mini Gabutera that actually jumped on the ship with them. So does Prince still have his stuff? I don't know. I hope they follow that up with it, because you took his sword and his mech. That ain't gonna fly. he gotta need that stuff. But yeah, so we end up getting a brand new mech in this episode, which was Kyryozin, and he was just a combination of like Gabutera with all the shoe gods on him. It was actually dope, and the majority of this fight was really cool, even though it was mostly CGI. But this fight was really cool, and it was like it delved deep in it. You know, it capitalized on the whole like King-Ohger, you know, dancing samba music type stuff, which is cool. So a lot of this fight was like a dance battle. But yeah, that's how they end up using that new mech to defeat the Bugnarok, the giant Bugnarok dude. They end up defeating him. But yeah, man, this episode was awesome. I don't know how this is. I was like, yes, my question was answered. What was going on? But I didn't think it was gonna be I didn't think it was gonna be 6 months, because I completely forgot about the whole thing of, you know, traveling through space. You know, time works differently and things like that. Like 6 months, yo. But I thought they were just gonna go through a portal or something and then appear back on their planet. But you know, time can also work differently there too, because you know, speed of light. Even though it's the speed of light, it still travels very slow in space. So, but yeah, man, this episode was dope. I don't know what to do. Like, I need a little backstory on how Racus came back. Was he dead or brought back to life? Bro got a whole new hairstyle, got a whole new outfit, mask. Like, I gotta know, like, what did bro go through for all of that? Maybe they'll talk about it in his like spin-off miniseries, but other than that, the evil king is back, and not the tyrant king, but the dictator, he's back. So you guys let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about this episode of Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I will see you guys next time. Remember, stay henshined.